Bernie Sanders, heart stent, inserted into artery. Blocked artery, artery no longer blocked. Had chest pains, didn't know what it was. Went to the doctor. Problem. We got to get this clogged artery unclogged. Got that done. Media says, hey, you didn't tell us you had a heart attack. Well, I didn't know it was a heart attack when I went. I just thought I had chest pain. Then I found out I had a heart attack. Sorry, I didn't know I had to tell you right away while I'm still on the hospital bed. You know, they're still butthurt about that. Oh, yeah, from CBS to ABC to NBC to CNN, all of them butthurt. I wanted to know your situation. You know how much we care about you, Bernie. Oh, we couldn't sleep not knowing the situation with you, Bernie. We love you so much, Bernie. We're so in tears. Oh, my God. I'm sure Joy Reid couldn't sleep. I'm almost positive that Zelina Maxwell and Wolf Blitzer was beside themselves. Wolf Blitzer couldn't eat the souls of babies. Zelina Maxwell could no longer torture cats in a calm frame of mind. Couldn't do their normal stuff. Anderson Cooper couldn't, I don't know what does Anderson Cooper do, dye his hair. I don't know what he does. Without thinking about poor Bernie. Oh, man, they feel like they were personally, they saw it as an affront to them that Bernie Sanders himself didn't climb out of the bed with IVs in his arm on a heart monitor and tell them all, listen, everyone, I had a heart attack. I want you all to know personally. Right now. Doctor's like, please, Bernie, sit down. No. The American people must know. Right now, they must know. I sent a message by the little birdie. Because they're all butthurt. They're still butthurt. It's been a week almost, and they're still crying on their podiums and on their freaking, what's the thing that does the thing? Teleprompters. They're still crying. Oh, I'm supposed to feel, Bernie should have told us about, and we're really upset, Bernie, and no transparency. Yeah, Trump, Obama wasn't transparent his entire presidency. He didn't say shit. Quiet. So that's why you know when people are hypocritical as hell. Like, Bernie didn't tell us he had a heart attack. I mean, they told us, but it took him 2 days to tell us. Obama stole our democracy and got rid of habeas corpus and deported more children than any other president, dropped more bombs than any other president, lied more than any other president when it came to war. He didn't tell anybody anything for 8 years. Somehow, he has a pristine legacy of no scandals. There you go with your whataboutism, Tim Black. So anyway, back to Bernie Sanders. So Bernie Sanders, he's out, he's doing his thing. We had video yesterday of him walking with his wife, Jane Sanders. It was on a little rainy Vermont day, mild rainy day, and we saw that. Bernie Sanders today made a statement. He made a statement showing some remorse about the way he has conducted himself over the last couple of months. And I myself was appalled at it. I can't believe that Bernie Sanders did this.
I'm feeling good, getting some work done, doing some walking, getting stronger, and that's about it.
What are you hoping to hear from the doctor today, Senator?
Well, the truth is that my main doctor is in Washington, D.C., so we've not had a doctor here in Vermont, let alone a cardiologist. So we're going to meet him. I understand he's a very good cardiologist. I mean, on a regular basis to get some checkups, and obviously I will be, on and off in Vermont, and so we're going to meet him today. I must confess that I was dumb. I was born, and thank God, that I have a lot of energy. And during this campaign, I've been doing in some cases 3 or 4 rallies a day, running all over the state, Iowa, New Hampshire, wherever. And yet in the last month or 2, just was more fatigued than I usually have been. So And I should have listened to those symptoms. So if there's any message that I hope we can get out there, is that I want people to pay attention to their symptoms. And when you're hurting, when you're fatigued, when you have pain in your chest, listen to it. So that's about all. Let me hear what the doctor has to say. Okay.
Thank you, Senator.
How did Bernie Sanders do what most people do, which is ignore their own pains and focus on working? Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I find all of this so repugnant. This whole thing when people act like, well, Bernie Sanders, what has he got done? Bernie Sanders worked himself into a heart attack on your behalf, and all you could do is gripe and complain and take shots at the guy. I mean, he worked harder than Pete Buttigieg. Pete Buttigieg doesn't do 4 rallies in a day. Joe Biden's lucky if he does 3 rallies a week. Who worked harder than Bernie Sanders? Nobody. No one even questions it. They say everyone remarks about how hard Bernie Sanders works. Unlike Donald Trump, he doesn't take a vacation every other month. The guy's been in it to win it for years, 30 years. Plus, don't let me shortchange the guy. And all we get are people sniping at him. So, the 78-year-old, he had chest pains last Tuesday. And look, when they say 78-year-old, and I get why they're doing it, I understand. People are concerned about Bernie's age. And Bernie's even admitted this is something people are going to have to consider when they vote for him. You don't run from a vulnerability, you lean into it. Because what's the point? I mean, like I've always stated, people who support you are going to support you. People who don't support you are not going to support you. But let's keep it real for a second. I wonder if Donald Trump could keep up with Bernie with the speed, with the pushing that he's been doing, the breakneck campaigning that he's done across the country. I wonder if Elizabeth Warren could keep up with that. I wonder if Joe Biden could keep up with that. But see, the thing about Bernie, which is humbling, is Bernie said he shouldn't have been doing that. So he let all you lazy folks off the hook. The bottom line is none of the top contenders for the presidency right now, even our current president, are spring chickens. That's just reality. Come on, man. Everyone's over 70. So it is what it is. He said he had been making more frequent campaign stops than almost any of his fellow Democrats, despite being the oldest candidate in the field. He never spoke publicly about feeling increased fatigue, though it was clear he was maintaining a grueling pace. I saw somebody on CBS, and I don't even know where CBS kind of came out of the woodwork. When did people start watching CBS for news, really? It's like, I don't know, when that happened? You sure you don't want to watch independent media? I'm just saying, there are people up there reading from a script. They have no personality. It seems like the place you go, if you don't know what the hell you're doing and you don't even know who you are, you have no voice. It's like they just read off cue cards, Johnson. And I can't believe she sat up there, whoever this person was. This is Asian American, I think it was. I don't know. I can't tell. She could be Latino or Filipino or Argentino. I don't know. But she sat up there and she was like, well, Bernie didn't tell us that he was sick, and it leaves a gaping hole in the trust of the transparent. Shut up. Shut up, CBS. They could have been reporting how hard Bernie was working all along. Then people wouldn't have been surprised and been like, well, he is working hard. But see, this is part of the media narrative when it's lopsided like it is. When no one gives him credit for all the hard work he does. Yeah, Bernie was working that hard all along. And there are people who don't support Bernie. They may favor another candidate. But they should have been privy to the fact that Bernie's been killing it. That he's been working his butt off for months in this race. Unlike people like Kamala Harris, who hasn't visited South Carolina? How many times she visits South Carolina? Oh, Elizabeth Warren, how many times she visits South Carolina? You can count on one hand. Bernie been there like 30 times or something. Yeah, some people have stuck close to home, places they're used to going. Maybe she went other places. But we're talking about Bernie crisscrossed the country, man. And he's been doing that since 2016. Think about the amount of work. It's not just what you do one day, it's what you've been doing for the last 3 years. That little thing called a unity tour. Where's the unity, Democrats? You know, unity with our guy who put it all on the line, running around with Tom Perez goofy ass, trying to keep your party intact. Yeah. You know, earlier today I saw that Bernie Sanders, oh, well, not Bernie Sanders, gosh. Earlier today I saw Jimmy Dore was on The Rising on the Hill with Crystal Ball and Cigar, and they were talking about the Democratic Party, what they needed to do. And somehow the conversation sort of shifted. And Jimmy was talking about how Bernie needs to go after the Democratic Party. He needs to go after them. He's like Trump went after the Democratic Party. And he made them, don't just go after Trump, go after the Democratic Party. And I'm like, wow, okay. And I agree with Jimmy on this point. But I think he already is. He already is. Look, Bernie Sanders is the one who takes aim at the DNC with his new anti-corruption plan. Last time I checked, it was just talk with Trump. Trump talked about how horrible Bush was. He talked about how horrible Jeb Bush and George W. Bush and how horrible John McCain were and the failures of them. But he didn't put together a plan to actually tackle corruption within the electoral, within the elections, within how the DNC's rules and bylaws. Bernie Sanders did that. He just introduced it. So, you know, people are critiquing Bernie, and I get it. Everybody's up for critique. But I think sometimes people just go overboard with the critiques. You got a guy just coming out of a life-dangerous situation. Thank God he's here. Thank God he's looking well. You saw him doing this thing. He's up, he's moving, he's working it out. He's coming back strong. But I'm going to take exception to people framing this as if Bernie Sanders isn't doing enough. He's never doing enough. What are the rest of these so-called presidential candidates doing that's so great that I got to hear people always berating Bernie Sanders about what he's not doing? Please, I'd really like to know where their huge infrastructure, where their huge voter base is, where their huge amount of donors, supporters, volunteers, and let those voters and supporters and donors come from working class people like Walmart workers and retail workers and fast food workers. That's Bernie Sanders. So I get the criticism that people give Bernie. I don't see the accolades that they should give Bernie. And it needs to stop. It needs to end. All the candidates signed the same document. That is, all candidates for the last time, all candidates agreed. All Democratic candidates agreed that if they lose the nomination, whoever the nominee is, they will support that nominee. That nominee could be Amy Klobuchar, and they're going to support him. That goes for Andrew Yang. That goes for Bernie Sanders. That goes for Tulsi Gabbard. And unless you're going to go vote green, we need to stop bringing up Bernie endorsed Hillary, because all of the rest of them would have done the same thing, because that's what they agreed to do. In regards to who the nominee is this time, they will all do it. Tulsi Gabbard, Andrew Yang, Bernie Sanders, Pete Buttigieg, Kamala Harris, all of them will endorse the eventual nominee. That's how the game is played. And I don't like it. Just because I'm citing it doesn't mean I like it, Johnson. I'm just reminding people as you shout, I'm holier than thou. I'm holier than thou. My candidate's holier than thou. Your candidate gonna do the same thing. In fact, your candidate's a Democrat. Johnson, drink up. All right. Last night I went on a little rant. It was pretty good, and darn mic wasn't turned on. I'm going to fire my tech squad. Hey, tech squad, you rang? You're fired. I needed a break. Thank you. I'd be firing myself, man. Tim can't do it all. You need to do it all, Tim. Do it all. Do it all, Tim Black. Do it all. All right. I'm serious about Bernie Sanders, though, man. I'm going to start pushing back a little bit harder. I'm going to have Tony Tigg drop a beat, drop a rhyme or something, spit some fire on that ass if this keeps up. Everybody taking out their frustrations on Bernie. What are the rest of these suckers doing, man? What are they doing? What? Well, what are they doing? I don't see a lot of smoke coming from the Cory Booker side of that ball, man. What's going on?